Just introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Zingaris. I'm member from 1990 in my parliament. I'm chairing Israeli caucus during the last 27 years in Lithuania, Vilnius, in the north of Europe. So, my question will be about possible Israeli priorities. Just you mentioned European Parliament, you mentioned Commission, executive branch. So from our side, we initiated Bibi Netanyahu from Lithuanian side to consult 28 ministers of foreign affairs, and at the same time we are negotiating with Minister of Strategic Affairs to consult European Commission, 28 ministers of internal affairs about how to fight terror in the world, to invite Israelis to be consultants, Israeli government members. But in the Knesset we have a problem that the Knesset members are mostly based on domestic affairs, and it's very difficult to bring Knesset members to discussions to European Parliament. We just complained actually about that some terrorist units are presenting their views inside of European Parliament, but we need an active internal agenda of elected members empowered to present Israeli democracy inside of European Union. So your embassy in Brussels are very small. You cannot be in every meeting among structuralized meetings in European Commission and in European Parliament. So members of Knesset can be like added values, and inside of European Parliament present Israeli view in all possible multiple structures. How you see the possibility to impress elected members of Knesset to take seriously partners in the European Parliament and to express their voice and inside of European structures?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Zingaris. I am proud to say that my grandfather was born not far from Vilnius, in a small village. I'm aware of this problem. It is a challenge always to get members of Knesset because they need to go to different countries in the world. They need to go to the European Parliament, and of course everyone likes to go to the United States for meetings, and they are very busy. And first and foremost, I have their constituency in Israel, and I have internal issues. But we are pressing ambassadors here, the Knesset. We must, and we speak to Mr. Edelstein about it, we must be present in Europe and in the European Parliament, because that's the only way to influence people. So there have been a few members of Knesset, not enough, that have been visiting the Parliament. I know about this. And you mentioned we have a very active ambassador in Brussels who goes to Strasbourg, but we cannot cover everything. If we have friends that also can speak to your members of Parliament in Strasbourg, it's very important. We need to increase that, and as soon as there is a new Knesset active now and the new government, we will approach the chairman of the Knesset, Mr. Edelstein, and insist that there has to be more presence in Europe, because you are 100% right. We are also internally complaining about this, but because there's nothing like this a personal connection with the members to explain to them, because many members of Parliament are ignorant. And then you have a lot of lobbyists that come there, Palestinians go there, and Friends of Palestine go to the members of Parliament and they influence them. And they don't hear the other side. And I'd like to take your question and just talk about BDS for a moment. Boycott, divestment, and sanctions against Israel. There is increased attempts by members of this BDS group to be active in Europe. Okay, in many countries, at the universities, when the Israeli ambassador wants to come, not in the Czech Republic, but in many other countries, if he comes to the university, there will be a demonstration immediately of Friends of Palestine. And they will demonstrate against Israel with all the lies and the provocations that they know to do. And sometimes they have local people who are believing these nonsense, and they are also joining forces. And the BDS is trying to influence the lawmakers in the countries and in Europe to enact laws which will harm Israel, like the labeling of goods, like the going after Israel in general. And the more this is active, the more we need to be active on the ground. So I can only echo your voice and your question and take it back to Jerusalem, that they hear about this. Thank you for raising this question.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. I'm Boris Tsilevich from Latvia. I'm not that experienced as Mr. Zingeris, so that chair Latvia-Israel Parliamentary Cooperation Group for just 21 years. And I fully agree with what Emmanuel has said, and I would like to remind you about another international European organization named the Council of Europe. And in its Parliamentary Assembly, Israel has an observer status. It's much more than just visitors like in the European Parliament. And several years ago, I remember that the Israeli delegation was very active, in particular Yuli Edelstein, current speaker of Knesset. He was really very much respected. When he came to the committee meetings and to the plenary, everybody was listening to him. He made some very strong and clear statements. And particularly since Yuri Stern passed away, Israel seems to pay much less attention. To pay much less attention to the Council of Europe. Occasionally, some of the members of Knesset show up, but mainly in collapse so far. And in the meantime, the Palestinian Authority was granted official status of the so-called partner for democracy within the Parliamentary Assembly. And believe me, our Palestinian colleagues are very active. They're everywhere, they participate in every debates in all committees. And it brings some results, because at some point on the agenda of Parliamentary Assembly we had more reports on Israel than on any other Council of Europe member state. So we, Israeli friends in the Assembly, tried to stop this trend, and we succeeded to some extent, and thanks to Mr. Zingeris and Mr. Lovinsky who is here, and Mrs. Bayer. But still, it's very difficult without strong involvement of our colleagues, members of Knesset. So, and I really appreciate your intention to raise this issue with your Parliament, and please don't forget the Council of Europe, because in the Parliamentary Assembly, Israeli observers have full right to speak out, not to vote, of course. But we will be very happy if our colleagues from the Knesset will join us in Strasbourg.
Well, I can only agree with you, and thank you for raising this also. And Prince of Ukraine.
Yes, I've also been reminding the lady also, like to whoever speaks first, but
I would like to only add to my colleague that is here, my Sorrow. Sorry, that Yuri Lovinsky from Ukraine. I would like to thank to my colleague from Israel, Latvia. I'm also chair of the friendship group between Ukraine and Israel, and Your Excellency, yesterday you said that Czechia one of the biggest, but in Ukraine, my group chaired, I have 148 members. So we are 3 times more than Czechian, but I would like to say that it's important that our group can be active and can move our subjects that we need to do. Let me remind you, I will speak about it a little bit later, that in Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, me and my colleagues, we are author of implementation of a definition of IRA definition about the anti-Semitism. It was motion of resolution, and this motion was signed by 40 members of parliament from 20 countries. And I met several weeks ago with Mr. Netanyahu, and I showed him this document. And very important that who signed. Member of Parliament from Turkey, Member of Parliament from Poland, Member of Parliament from France, from Germany. So I can say that this country, or members of Parliament of this country, can be so in easy situation in the relationship with Israel. But they can support issues that Jewish community or Israel want to do it. And I would like to say that I definitely agree with my colleagues, but I several times put this question on the agenda before Mr. Edelstein and others. But I think we need not only to send somebody from the Knesset, we should establish the agenda to work with international organizations, to work with Jewish parliamentarians, to build bridge with friends of Israel. And I think that Alliance can help in it. But for example, said ambassadors, sometimes I ask ambassador to come and he said, unfortunately, our Minister of Foreign Affairs have not money to cover even tickets to come to events. In these issues, we need to change the strategy. I will believe, Your Excellency, we can help to inform that we need to change it. We need to, in Torah say, make for your teacher and buy for your friends. So we need to buy friends.
Thank you very much.
From Belgium, from Israel. I attended last year a meeting organized at the European Parliament where Ana Gomes, a PS member of Portugal, invited Baku. So I went there, and you have to understand what is European Parliament. In Brussels, you have rooms like this size where parliamentarians can organize like 5 events during their mandate. And when they organize this, the people who are coming is very few. It means at this event with Barghouti, there were maybe 40 persons present, 30 persons, I cannot remember exactly. The influence is very small. So when we speak about European Parliament, we have to understand where you have to go. Because these events, you think it's important, but at the end of the day, it's not very important. Because who goes to those events? When it's organized by pro-Palestinians come. When we organize something pro-Jewish or pro-Israel, the pro-Israeli come. So I think the influence is very small there. But at the Assembly, the General Assembly of Parliament, there it's important to go. And bilateral relations is very important. But these events make more fuss than I think it's really influencing the thing. And by the way, the MEP Ana Gomes was rejected from her party because she organized. So you have a lot to eat and to drink when you say they come a lot and they do a lot. Yes, they do. Definitely more than Israel, definitely more. But I don't know if the influence is so big for the parliamentarians themselves who vote in parliament. So I would suggest really look into where you want to go and put some priorities. And we would be happy to help you in Brussels if you have to organize things. But we are in contact with the ambassador.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your activity in Brussels. And I agree with you that one needs to prioritize, especially when there is a small number of people with so many missions. I do like to say, though, that if terrorists are allowed into the European institutes, even if no one comes to listen to them, it's symbolic of we have to fight against this to make a point, to expose this. But it is true that when it comes to the committees and the legislation, if they have a discussion about anti-Semitism or about BDS or about Iran, we didn't talk about Iran, this is the most important things where the result is what matters if there's new legislation and things like that. I agree with that. But thank you for mentioning this.
Well, I've just been reminded that we should perhaps move on slowly because we are getting behind schedule, but of course it's open up to you. I'm just, we could be flexible.